Cherish the physical. It is I, Quan Yin. I am here because it is my desire to connect. I am opening myself more to all of you who wish to connect with me. I am not in a far-off place. I am right here with you now. Just as much as you are seeking the higher realms, I am seeking to be grounded in the physical, and I need your help. I need you as much as you need me because we are seeking experiences, and we are seeking a shift in how we have experienced reality. There will come a time, believe it or not, when you will miss density. You will miss polarity. You will become nostalgic for the times when there was quite a bit of chaos on planet Earth, because one thing all beings have in common is that we desire experience. And your experience will become different. So cherish the experience that you are having now as the best you can. Cherish them because they are fleeting. You cannot and will not remain as dense and physical and polarized as you are. You think of all these things as lower or less than, but they are not. They are experiences, and I suggest that you savor them. Get it all in while you can. Be joyous at the differences that exist between you and the others. Celebrate your individuality. There is much to be gained from a dense physical experience. Otherwise, it would not exist. So don't see yourselves as less than because you are having the experiences that you are, and continue to look for opportunities to enjoy the reality that you are in. Enjoy your limitations because they force you to be creative. Enjoy your separation because it creates a longing to connect with others. Celebrate your dense physical bodies because they give you opportunities to feel more grounded. Enjoy it all. You created it, and it is up to you to enjoy it. Preferences. Preferring something for yourself does not mean denouncing all other choices. Preferences change over time. So when you prefer something, it does not mean that you will always prefer it. So you do not need then to see all other choices as unnecessary, invalid, or even offensive. All choices exist in order to give you the opportunity to choose. When you have a preference, you often believe that it is the right one to have. You often take that stance, and you often feel proud of your preferences. This is going to shift for all of you, and you'll just be making things easier on yourself when you let go of that need for your preferences to be correct, morally or otherwise. You are infinite beings exploring all possibilities, and so what you do not prefer today, you may prefer tomorrow or next week or next year. What you have preferred, you may no longer prefer, but that does not mean that everyone else who is making the choice is somehow behind you in their evolution. There is something to be gained from every choice that is available, from every experience that is available, and as you begin to acknowledge that, you actually open yourselves to more possibilities. You create more opportunities, and you are able to perceive more. When you state your preference, do so with an appreciation that your preference exists. Do so from a place of excitement. You don't have to make excuses for your preferences either. You don't have to justify them. You don't have to explain to anyone why you choose A over B. You are just moving towards what resonates in the moment, and there is always a bigger reason than what you realize in the moment for making that choice. So get excited about that as well. Get excited about what it is you will discover about yourself in your explanation of your new preference. You will never run out of choices, but it is possible for you to narrow your choices by closing yourself off. So I do not recommend that. I recommend opening yourself, acknowledging the infinite universe and the infinite possibilities that exist within it. And when you do align with one of your preferences, allow that joy to flow through you. Allow yourselves to blossom in the coming together of your energy with the energy of that which you prefer. Choose your perspective. I am here to remind you of who you really are, and I can do that with your help. We are not establishing a teacher-to-student relationship here. We are colleagues. We are co-workers, and we are co-creators. This experience that you're having is all-inclusive. It includes me, includes all of those across your world, across your galaxy, across this universe, no matter which side they appear to be on. There is really only one side, and there are many perspectives on that one side. Think of what it would be like for you to be arguing with someone else about what a particular object was. And now recognize the beauty in the moment when you come to understand it. You are both looking at the same objects from different angles. This is how you attain unity consciousness. It is by recognizing that you all are looking at the same thing and taking different perspectives. And in so doing, you are giving each other the opportunity to choose, and that's where the fun comes from. You can take your choice and run with it, or you can try to get everyone else to see it from your point of view. You can continue to look for validation from others, or you can seek to have an experience of a perspective. And when you have an experience of a perspective, that experience cannot be wrong. It can only be right, and it can only be had by you. There's a lot of arguing going on, especially when you have a big election coming up, and it's only going to get more and more intense. So who do you want to be in all of that? Do you want to be the one who stands on the side of righteous justice? Or you want to be the one who lives your life according to the values and who sees everything else as doing exactly what they came planet Earth to do? You need to have all these choices, all of these perspectives, in order for you to be an informed perspective, and in order for you to know yourself as the one who is making the choice. Source doesn't want to make the choice for you. Source wants you to make the choice so that Source can have its experience. And that is how much you mean to Source, and that is how valuable you are. Taking action. When you are considering taking a certain action, please examine your intentions for that action. Seek to get to the bottom of why you want to take a particular action before you take it. When you are in the flow, you do not consider taking an action, because when you are in the flow, you find yourself taking an action. There is no thought that precedes it. There is no working about whether it is appropriate or whether it will result in you getting what you want. Many of you are taking your actions from a place of fear or a sense of obligation, and there are so many actions that you can take. So why not at least understand what is at the root of why you want to take a particular action? Perhaps if you get in touch with the emotional cause of your desire to take a particular action, you can recognize that the emotion itself is also going to be the result of that action. So while you may be taking an action because you don't want to feel a particular emotion, I think you will find that the action itself only leads to more of that same emotion. So it wouldn't make sense then to access the emotion first and decide whether it is an emotion that you would like to solidify with action. If the emotion itself is excitement or joy, then of course you want to take that action. And of course the only consideration it would make in that scenario is whether one action or another would be more joyous for you to take. It is beautiful to behold you taking actions from a joyous state of being. The path that serves you most. Taking the path that serves you the most is not always the easiest for you to take. Challenges are what keep you in a constant state of expansion. So of course your path is not always going to be the easiest, and it is not always going to be the one you would choose for yourself from this perspective that you now have. Be that as it may, you are going to find yourself on a path that serves you the most and that gives you the greatest opportunity for expansion. Growth is spurred on by desire, and desire is often spurred on by pain. So the key for you is to actually experience the growth in the most joyous way possible. And the most joyous way possible is also the way that involves the most conscious awareness. Your conscious awareness of how the challenges serve you lowers your resistance to them and allows for a greater conscious participation in your growth and in your journey. Be curious about the pitfalls for the roadblocks, instead of wondering how you got yourself into the mess you're in. Wonder how that mess is spurring on your growth and is giving you what you need to expand and to become more. Growth and evolution are a natural consequence of existence. How you experience your growth and expansion is up to you. When you have the perspective that nothing is more significant than becoming more of who you are, you have the perspective of your higher self, your oversoul, and of source energy. And experiencing yourself as these higher aspects of you will still remain physical gives you the best of all worlds. Everything is of service to you. How many times have you wondered about the origins of a situation? How much of your time do you spend dissecting it in order to understand it better? How much easier it would be if you just accepted the perfection of whatever was before you? It would make your lives much easier and much more enjoyable, and you have more energy to put towards making the most of whatever circumstance you find yourselves in. It's not nearly as important how something came to be as what you will do with it now that it is in your experience. What if you simply transform the way you were looking at the situation and saw it as a gift? It is entirely up to you. You can choose to define something as a problem, or you can see it as an opportunity. You can look for ways to control the situation or manipulate the outcome, or you can find ways to allow it to be and to shift your experience of it. Now that may be asking a lot of you at first. When you first experience something that is unwanted, there is an initial reaction and perhaps even shock. But then you have the opportunity to gather yourself and to grow from that experience. You have the ability to find yourself in relationship to it, to know how powerful you are because of it, and to give it absolutely no power over you. You have the ability to transform any situation you are in, but it is always best to begin by looking within yourself, by allowing yourselves to be triggered at first, and then to let go, to surrender to it. Know that you will never put something in front of you unless it serves you in some way. The service that it provides is always to give you further insight into who you are and to give you the opportunity to choose who you want to be. I am Quan Yin, and I hold you in my heart.